You're listening to the Lazy Entrep podcast, productivity, automation, and outsourcing tips so that you can work less and live more. Here is your host, Jason Dulé.
Today, I share with you one of my favorite productivity hacks. It's based on the Pareto principle, otherwise known as the 80-20 rule. The Pareto principle states that 80% of the results come from 20% of the efforts, and that the remaining 20% of the results come from 80% of the work. And this applies to almost everything in life. When I was part of a sales team in the office, it was pretty evident that 80% of the sales were brought in by 20% of the salespeople. And when dealing with my wife, 80% of her love for me is because of the 20% of the stuff that I actually get right. And finally, in business, 80% of the stuff that we spend our time on only brings in 20% of the revenue, while the remaining 20% of our time spent activities are what bring in 80% of the revenue. And that's what we're going to focus on today, the business implications of this 80-20 rule. So stop and think with me for a moment. What do you spend 80% of your time on in a daily or a weekly basis that brings only 20% of the revenue? Do you have any time consuming low revenue tasks? Let's go ahead and make a quick mental list of them. Checking email and social media every 5 minutes, managing your calendar, doing research, refreshing the Google Analytics dashboard, figuring out why your email subscribers aren't tagged properly, calling vendors, checking your transactions dashboard to see how sales are doing your bookkeeping every day. Okay, these are all important business tasks, but there are ways to eliminate the amount of time that they take up in our day so that we can give more time and focus to the high value tasks, the ones that bring in the 80% of the revenue. So let's talk about how we can best minimize the time suck of these tasks. First of all, let's divide our list of low value tasks into two categories: time black holes and delegatable tasks. Time black holes are the stuff that we do regularly that doesn't necessarily need to be regularly done. For example, checking product sales or affiliate revenue every 10 minutes. Sure, it's nice to see the numbers go up, but nothing you do within the day is going to make those numbers go up or down today. Check them at the end of the day, not every 10 minutes. And if there are any problems, plan your actions accordingly. Another example is checking how people are reacting to our social media posts every couple of minutes. Unless you're a Twitter celebrity, social media replies can wait. Nothing is so urgent that it requires your immediate attention. Now, the big problem with time black holes is that they suck all the time around them, just like regular black holes. What we think will be a 2-minute Facebook refresh becomes a 30-minute analysis of cat videos and baby pictures. These tasks are best done in one single time block at the end of the day so that we spend a minimum amount of time doing them and they don't get in the way of our high-value tasks. Now, the second category for low-value tasks are the delegatable tasks, and these are the tasks that are still important but don't really need you to personally do them. Things like doing research on vendors, calling up suppliers, posting to social media, responding to customer inquiries, and so on. These are tasks that you should be delegating to a virtual assistant. Okay, so once we're able to identify our time black holes and our delegatable tasks, we should compartmentalize and schedule these time black holes to 1 or maybe 2 time blocks in a day, and then delegate our delegatable tasks to our team, so that we can spend more time focusing on our high-value tasks and bringing in more revenue to the business. Now, if you want to know more about hiring virtual assistants and expanding your team so that you can delegate those tasks out, I have a free ultimate guide to hiring virtual assistants. Just head on over to lazyentrep.com to get your free ultimate guide to hiring virtual assistants. Thank you for listening to the Lazy Entrep podcast. If you found these tips helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you left a review on iTunes. Even if it's just a couple of words, it'd be a huge help. You can find a link to review us on our show notes page or on our website, lazyentrep.com. Till next time.